follow your heart, because somewhere down the line it's going to betray you if you don't. Hi, I'm Dr. Roxanne Guy, and I was president of the American Society of Plastic Surgeons in 2007. When I was younger, I had an older brother, and the boys got to do more. And they got to go out more freely, they had more privileges, they had what I thought was more quote-unquote freedom. I didn't like that. But as I got older, I realized that there were sort of ways to get around that. But there was the idea of, well, you don't really want to have children, do you? You don't really want to be a housewife, do you? And I mean, how do you answer that? Well, yeah, I'd like to have it all, was what I wanted to say, but I couldn't see the future. I just knew where my heart was leading me at that time. When I decided to go into surgery, when I finally made the decision and stopped questioning it, I was ready to go. I was ready to go. And I also knew there was going to be some resistance. And I was ready for it, because really I was always a fighter and outspoken and mouthy, and I didn't stop once I was in residency either. I was the first woman surgery resident at my medical school, yes. And then later, I was the first woman plastic surgery resident at that medical school. Somebody had to be the first, and you know, it was that time, it was when women were just starting to come of their own in medicine. Many more then followed coming into the classes and so forth. So somebody had to break that ceiling in each particular medical school. My chief always felt that it was very important to be in organized plastic surgery. If you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem. You want to have a voice in your future of your specialty. And being on the leadership queue for the American Society of Plastic Surgeons was one of those things that wouldn't leave my head. I wanted to not do it, sort of like I wanted to not do a full 5-year general surgery residency. I wanted to not do a full 2-year plastic surgery residency, but I felt like I needed to do it. Somebody needed to do it. I really got pushed hard by my chief, and I did recognize that the time was right. It was time. I was really lucky because Dr. Kerrigan and I went through a lot of the ASPS meetings and strategic planning and so forth together. We would often sit together and commiserate. And we started talking one day about, you know, I think I'd kind of like to go on in leadership. What about you? Yeah, I think it would really be fun. Carolyn and I started the Women's Leadership Initiative, which was a cadre of women who would get on these calls and do the leadership training and the coaching, some of whom then went on to do private coaching with the coach. And we would have these great calls once or twice a month, I think, in the evening. And we then were able to bat around ideas. It was sort of a safe place in which to talk. I think women need to have their voices heard. Otherwise, it's going to be the same old, same old. We have a different perspective. I'm not saying that's wrong or right, but we have a different perspective, and it's very important. And it's not going to change if we don't get involved. And I certainly think women are getting involved. I think they're really starting to feel their strength now and find their voices and not be so timid about speaking out.